Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Confusion Records. I'm your host, as always, OC, and this episode is going to be about some things that we've talked about in the past that I said was going to be coming about and has now come about, as well as some of the things that Trump has been doing that I agree with. He has been fighting a lot for Christianity and for God to not be removed from things. The government has been trying for a long time, well over 10 years, to remove God and praying and things like that from a lot of things. And a lot of people have missed the conferences and the speeches that Trump has given on this issue, because the news doesn't want to play them. I understand, and we all understand by now, why they don't want to play those. We don't have to get into that. But here you go. Here is some footage of some of the things that we said were going to be coming about in our country as well soon, that have now been coming about. And also some of that footage of Trump, backing religion and being able to help keep it in our lives. So here you go, folks. Please click like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notifications. Share this video with everyone you know. We can make a difference, but we must speak up.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
To the American company, sparking a fierce debate across this country tonight. A business in Wisconsin implanting microchips in its employees, in the skin of their hands. So what are they tracking, and would you say yes if your boss asked you to do the same?
This is serious stuff. We're talking about a nonstop potential connection to my body. I can't turn it off. I can't put it away. It's in me. That's a big problem.
Somebody put an implant inside me. I found it this morning.
Back in 2004, the Manchurian Candidate suggested a future where humans are chipped and controlled. We have been warned.
3 says their employees cannot be tracked by satellite. Melissa Timmons was skeptical, but is now chipped.
Yeah, right now it's only to buy a candy bar and get in our building, but there's a lot more that's going to be coming with it.
Tonight, science fiction about to come to life at Wisconsin company 3 Square Market.
What did the employees say when you brought this idea to them?
Half of them actually within 5 seconds says yes.
CEO Todd Westby, along with 50 employees, implanting microchips the size of a grain of rice between their forefingers and thumbs, allowing them to unlock doors at work, even pay for snacks with the swipe of a hand.
The microchips are radio frequency identification tags, the same technology widely used in things like key cards.
What did it take to persuade the holdouts?
Basically, we had to explain to them there's no tracking of the information. It's not GPS or anything like that.
Pinched a little bit, not bad at all though.
It takes just a few seconds, and Tony Danner is standing at a new frontier in technology.
It feels pretty amazing. It's excited about where we can take this technology.
Microchip implants have been around for some time. Jason Bourne's journey to discover his identity 15 years ago began after this chip was dug out of his back.
By next week, at least 50 of his 80 employees have signed up to become bionic, using what's called a RFID transponder in a microchip meant to make the workplace experience faster and more efficient.
So when you have the chip, you're just going to hold it up here and all those same options will come up?
Westby says they are not GPS enabled. yet.
You're not going to be tracking your employees around town to see what they're up to and what they're doing.
No, we will not. It's for entrance to the building, logging into computers, making purchases in our break room market.
Westby says even if GPS became available, he would not use it on employees.
You may not even be aware of it, but groundwork is being laid. Those pushing globalism and government control on a global level have mastered the art of hiding it in plain sight and then just dismissing it as a joke. Their great example would be this: the United Nations Earth Summit, Agenda 21.
Is a cell tower going up in your neighborhood? If it's not now, it may soon. Wireless carriers are installing millions of them across the country to enable the new, faster 5G cell phone technology.
They're popping up outside bedroom windows and school campuses, despite objections from across the country.
I know scientifically that putting up these cell phone towers is safe.
But the International Association of Firefighters disagrees. They began opposing cell towers on fire stations after firefighters complained of health problems.
These firefighters developed symptoms.
Dr. Gunnar Heuser conducted a pilot study on firefighters at a station with cell towers.
And the symptoms included problem with memory, problem with intermittent confusion, problem with weakness.
Heuser says their brain scans suggest even low-level RF can cause cell damage, and he worries about more vulnerable groups like kids.
So we found abnormal brain function in all of the firefighters we examined.
So, following lobbying by firefighters, Cork and his co-author exempted fire stations from their bill, making them one place cell companies couldn't put a tower.
This is the first piece of legislation that I think anyone's aware of where somebody got an exemption because they were concerned about health. Did they tell you at all about the study?
All I know is that when the firefighters ask, you know, I do what they ask me to do.
Because they're strong lobbyists?
Yes.
So if, say, school teachers and parents had a strong lobby and they asked you to pass something that would prevent these from going up in your schools, would you do that?
If I couldn't get the votes any other way.
Tonight, anger, frustration, and disbelief after Sam's Club suddenly closes more than 80 stores without any warning.
Plenty of people talking about the sudden closure of some Sam's Club stores.
A lot of customers caught off guard as dozens of stores all across the country suddenly closing today, including 3 here in the Houston area. Customers received no warning, and neither did employees.
The only way you can see inside the recently closed Winnsboro, South Carolina Walmart is through a small hole torn into the cloth of the sliding front doors. The opening offers a surprisingly wide glimpse of a store that once sold almost everything the 3,500 residents of this town might need.
The notice posted out front of the Sam's Club in Linden, closed today and every day moving forward.
It appears neither customers nor employees got any advance warning. 63 Sam's Club stores closed today or will close in the coming weeks. 4 stores are located in Texas, and 3 of those, like the one behind me, are right here in the Houston area.
63 Sam's Club locations now closing across the country, including this one on Gale Street in the City of Industry and ones in Stanton and Sylmar. Some point out Sam's Club is giving certain employees bonuses due to tax reform and wonder if the company appears to be doing well, why they're downsizing.
Walmart should have been doing a victory dance with bright lights and trumpets, and now it's staring at floodlights. You know, it's done something bad. And so the wonderful thing it's done by increasing permanent wages for 1 million employees is now being defined by, sadly, 11,000 people being let go. The timing's ridiculous. And they must have known. How does that happen? I've got a feeling they were trying to... I can only look at this going, you were trying to slip this one under the carpet. There's no strategy here. There seems nothing really professional here, apart from you trying to cover up.
It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents.
The bad news is this structure was set up by those who want to establish a global government system. They've set this structure up years ago. This is why I keep saying to you, you don't have any idea how far behind we really are. But here's the good news. God is not uninvolved in man's freedom.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Your faith and prayers have sustained me. What I hear most often as I travel the country are 5 words that never, ever fail to touch my heart. That's, I am praying for you. I hear it so often. I am praying for you, Mr. President. Most importantly, I brought my Bible. Okay?
But my father came from a Kenyan family that includes generations of Muslims. As the Holy Quran tells us, the Holy Quran teaches that, the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says, Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. And Eid Shoma Mubarak.
To whom much is given, much is expected. I was sworn in on the very Bible from which my mother would teach us as young children. My mother gave me this Bible, this very Bible, many years ago. And that faith lives on in my heart every single day. We are not just flesh and bone and blood. We are human beings with souls. Our republic was formed on the basis that freedom is not a gift from government, but that freedom is a gift from God. And America will thrive as long as we continue to have faith in each other and faith in God. As long as we have God, we are never, ever alone. I mean, Christianity, when you think of what's happening, you look at the numbers. I talk about Sunday school, people don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. It's true, they don't know what I'm talking about. When you look, instead of going this way, you're going to be going this way. You may be going this way, but you're going to be going, we're going to bring it back. Because it's a good thing. It's a good thing. They treated you like it was a bad thing, but it's a great thing, not a good thing. It's a great thing. So we're going to bring it back because it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think we can do really something special. And we're going to protect Christianity. And I can say that. I don't have to be politically correct. We're going to protect it. You know? And I asked Jerry and I asked some of the folks, because I hear this is a major theme right here, but 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17, that's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And it's so representative of what's taken place. But we are going to protect Christianity. And if you look what's going on throughout the world, you look at Syria, where if you're Christian, they're chopping off heads. You look at the different places, and Christianity, it's under siege. I'm a Protestant. I'm very proud of it, Presbyterian to be exact, but I'm very proud of it, very, very proud of it. And we've got to protect, because bad things are happening. Very bad things are happening. And we don't, I don't know what it is, we don't band together, maybe.
Sometimes I'll bring a communion, but I didn't want to. I think you believe me, right? You've seen it. But the power of our group of people together. I mean, if you add it up, I was trying to do it the other day. I was with one of the great ministers, and I said, you know, if you think about this country, because now you're talking about men and women, you're talking about together. So the group is larger, Christians in this country is larger than men or women. And I said, how many Christians do you think? And it could be like 240, 250 million, you know, a big portion of, and yet we don't exert the power that we should have. Now, I think some of the churches are afraid of their tax status, to be honest. You know, they're afraid they're going to lose their tax status if they get too political. Some of them just can't endorse. But you know, the fact is that there's nothing the politicians can do to you if you band together. You have too much power. But the Christians don't use their power. They don't use your power. And honestly, you have, by far, it's the strongest. I mean, you talk about lobbies, you have the strongest lobby ever. But I never hear about a Christian lobby. I hear great people like the pastor. I hear some unbelievable people. Many, many friends are ministers, and lots of them have endorsed me already. But I have to tell you that we don't hear about strength, and we have to strengthen, because we are getting, if you look, it's death by a million cuts. We are getting less and less and less powerful in terms of a religion and in terms of a force. And honestly, whether it's one leader or a number of people, potentially you have tremendous power. When they don't want to say Merry Christmas in department stores anymore. I won't shop in places that don't say Merry Christmas. Guess what? I don't do too much shopping, because, no, it's true. When I see these stores and they have a red wall and they have nothing on it, they don't want to say Merry Christmas anymore. I say, why don't you say Merry Christmas? Well, we're not allowed to. The owner doesn't want us to. These big department stores, they're not allowed to. And I'll tell you one thing, we're going to be saying Merry Christmas again. Just remember. And by the way, Christianity will have power without having to form, because if I'm there, you're going to have plenty of power. You don't need anybody else. You're going to have somebody representing you very, very well. Remember that. So it's an honor to be here, and I know you're packed, and you know they're having. For too long, politicians have tried, oh, have they tried, to centralize authority among the hands of a small few in our nation's capital. I see them all the time. Bureaucrats think they can run over your lives, overrule your values, meddle in your faith, and tell you how to live, what to say, and where to pray. But we know that parents, not bureaucrats, know best how to raise their children and create a thriving society. And we know that families and churches, not government officials, know best how to create a strong and loving community. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Religious liberty is enshrined in the very First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. The American founders invoked our Creator 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin reminded his colleagues at the Constitutional Convention to begin by bowing their heads in prayer. I remind you that we're going to start saying Merry Christmas again. I also want to speak to all of the people, see, you thought I forgot, in our faith community who are here with us tonight, veterans and non-veterans alike. You're never going to be forgotten. You'll never be forgotten. My administration will always support and defend your religious liberty. We don't want to see God forced out of the public square, driven out of our schools, or pushed out of our civic life. We want to see prayers before football games if they want to give prayers. We want all children to have the opportunity to know the blessings of God. We will not allow the government to censor sermons, to restrict the free speech of our pastors and our preachers and the people that we most respect. Like Robert. That is why, just as I promised Pastor Jeffress and other faith leaders, I just signed an executive order following, and this is something that makes me very happy and very proud, following through on my campaign pledge to stop the Johnson Amendment from interfering with your First Amendment rights. As long as I am president, no one is going to stop you from practicing your faith or from preaching what is in your heart. We want to hear him.